In this video, we're going to discuss the migration by Home Teams Online away from the old admin-based user ID and password to the new email-based user ID and password. So what we need to discuss today are why we need to do it and when, who needs a user ID, the different types of user IDs, how you request a user ID, certainly what happens if we don't get one, and what if you have multiple teams. Now, over the past 2 years, Home Teams Online has received many requests to get away from one central user ID and password to be able to have many user IDs and passwords for a team so that multiple people can work on the website and multiple people can have varying levels of access within the website. And certainly it's going to be more secure because we do have access to sensitive information by players, meaning we have their home addresses, their emails and passwords, and we only want people that have and need access to be able to access and modify that information. So it's certainly going to be more secure. The other thing is, if you have multiple people working on a website, it's easier if they only see the activities that they really need to have access to. Everybody in Connecticut American Legion will need a new user ID and password. Certainly everybody in zones 1 through 8, certainly the 15U teams, you're all going to need that access. General managers, you're going to have access to all of your teams, whether you have a 19U, 17U, and 15-year-old team. Head coaches, you're going to have access to the site to do anything you need to do with regard to your team maintenance, rosters, schedules, exhibition games, things like that. Assistant coaches, certainly the same, if not the exact same information that the head coaches have access to as his backup. If you have a scorekeeper, we're going to give them access to the schedule and results page so that they can import tonight's game scores and stats if you do that sort of thing. And certainly we can accommodate others with specific user IDs and passwords. The webmaster is typically going to be the team general manager, and he's going to have everything within the team website. The head coach, you're going to have a little bit less access, but you're going to have everything you need to do your daily job. If you have a scorekeeper, once again, they'll have access to the schedule and results, and again, any custom user IDs and passwords that we need to create for you. How do you request a user ID? On the main homepage of the state website, on the fourth gray menu bar down, you'll see a user ID request. Click on that, it'll open up a form. Basically, fill it out, fill every field out, and submit the form. We're going to create a training video on how to create your user ID and the steps involved in it, but basically Ed is going to send you an invitational email. You're going to click on the email, and once in there, there's going to be a link to access the sign-in screen. Your email address is already going to be filled in. All you need to enter is a password of your choice. You're going to have to remember to write this down because this is how you're going to have access to your site going forward, and then just click Save. If you don't get set up with a new access as of December 31st, you're not going to have access to your site. I won't be able to give you any support as the webmaster. You won't be able to enter any of your rosters, game scores, or certainly you won't be able to maintain your site. If you have multiple teams, you will have a user ID and password for each, but if you have the same email-based ID and password, you'll be able to log on to any team and maintain any team by just logging in once. You'll be able to do that by a series of drop-down menus, which we'll discuss in another training video. The trick to this whole thing is you've got to have the same email address as your user ID and the same password. So we need to get this done as quickly as possible. We're going to create a training video for you, and you'll see it in the list of training videos once it's up and posted. You're going to submit the user ID request form, which is on the state home page, and then once that's all done, Ed will send you the invitational email that you'll be able to sign up into the system. We do ask if you have any questions at all during this process, you contact Ed. Once this is all done, you'll have access and you'll be ready for the 2016 season.